IFWGlobal, big, dangerous fraudsters bribe the media. Inexperienced traders frequently trust unscrupulous brokers and willingly hand over their money, never to see it again. Unfortunately, this happens frequently, and it is even worse when no one can help. It will be much easier to understand what we are saying if we provide examples. The story of a Canadian trader who chose to remain anonymous for security reasons has circulated widely on the internet. In his heartbreaking story about dealing with swindlers, he stated that he began working with Alfido Invest scammers in the summer of 2023 to boost his capital investment. Later, he realized that he had been pouring his own money into the fraud for a long time and would be unable to recover it easily. The total amount of stolen money was $13,000, which is a substantial sum for a private investor. That is why the trader refused to accept his fate and contacted financial fraud detectives, who promised to help. But it was all more complicated than that. There are plenty of scammers in the field of investigations, but they usually come and go, lie low, and then return to their activities. Catching them is difficult enough. However, in this case, things are much more complicated. We are up against a big fish among detective agencies, IFWGlobal, which has earned the trust of world governments, because many of its leaders have previously worked for international security organizations. In their retirement, such businessmen decided to hype and defraud people and brokerage firms in front of everyone, and the media even applauded and praised them. Ken Gamble is the central figure at IFWGlobal, which, based on recent events, is a scam. He has structured his business so that he can blackmail brokers and demand bribes to maintain their good reputation. Furthermore, they force investors to pay for the services of detectives who do nothing to meet the needs of those who seek assistance and support. It is worth noting that the swindler involves his entire family in the scheme. According to reliable insiders, Ken Ryan and Gamble's wife answers potential clients' calls. Her psychological approach to reassuring scam victims helps to relax detective service users, who are then willing to pay advance fees for case and legal documentation analysis. However, this proves to be a fatal mistake. In the case of the same anonymous source, in addition to the $13,000 lost, he gave the IFWGlobal fraud another $5,000. Unlike con artists, detectives were still in touch with this person. They are so unafraid of punishment that they continue to defraud innocent users, even after being accused of swindling. So, the deceivers pretend to continue their investigation while repeatedly clarifying the same information from customers. Even if users keep paying for detective services on a monthly basis, the scammers gradually cut off contact with the victims, citing the impossibility of a personal visit, busy lines, and a high volume of orders as reasons. The investigation into the author of the exposing article lasted a year, then two, and he was eventually forgotten entirely. This story teaches us to thoroughly vet such representatives before entering into any partnership. In the case of IFWGlobal, the scam is obvious. In 11 years on the financial markets, there have only been 7 reviews, 2 of which are negative and far more credible than the others. The rating is 3.9. It appears that this company's services are not well received. This is supposed to be what a successful investigative project looks like. It is noteworthy that appropriate organizations have the following image. This is supposed to be what a successful investigative project looks like. It is noteworthy that appropriate organizations have the following image. We will not reveal their names in order to avoid publicity. In addition to the story of the anonymous investor, we discovered many other similar comments on the internet. Conclusion: you should not trust anyone who spends a lot of time promoting themselves in the media without providing proof. When it comes to IFWGlobal, a private detective firm specializing in fraud and bug cleanup, and its narcissistic leader Ken Gamble, such behavior is a dead giveaway of a scam. Beware of these criminals.